What's going on, guys? Welcome back to part 2 of the DFS OGs podcast right here on RotoGrinders.com. I am Chris, Beermakers fan Prince, back once again with my fellow OGs, Head Chopper, Notorious. Boys, how we doing? Chop, we'll start with you.
Doing good. It's ready to get to these afternoons. You know what? I just, with this condensed schedule in the NFL, these afternoon slates have been terrible. They're like 3 games every week. It's just not – it's so anticlimactic, but we'll get through this and pound it down, and no big deal, I guess, man. Yeah, but don't you agree that they need a better schedule maker, man?
Absolutely. Spread the bye weeks out a little bit more. We don't need bye weeks going – like there's teams on bye in week 12, and I'm in some FFPC leagues. Todd Gurley's on bye when I'm going into the playoffs. Like, it's horrible. But, yeah, 6 teams on bye: Buffalo, Cleveland, Miami, New England, New York, and San Francisco. But I do agree. I like watching the Red Zone channel. And then you get to the afternoon games, and it's kind of like falling asleep because there's only 2 or 3 games on. But it is what it is. Derek, how we doing, brother?
Yeah, doing good. I agree with you guys on the scheduling. I feel the same way about NBA. I hate that they have 3 games one night, 12 the next, 3 the next. Like, just give me 6 to 8 games. Keep me entertained every night. Give us some afternoon football games. It's not that hard.
6 to 8 is the wheelhouse, man. That's where I'm at my best there. When you get 12, 13, that's a lot of stuff to go through. And that is one hell of a grind down to write on them days. So
I'm a little biased
on that. When I read that baby on them big schedule days, definitely feeling your pain. But let's talk some football here, guys. 3 afternoon games, Sunday night, and then the game of the year, Kansas City and the Rams. We'll cover that last. But let's start with Denver and the Chargers. Chop. Interesting game here. You know, Chargers playing well. I think one of the better teams in the AFC. Can't say the same here for Denver. So is it all Chargers here for you at home?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a rivalry game, so I expect it to be somewhat close. I don't think it's a blowout, but yeah, Chargers should win this game. The Chargers got me thinking, like, is this not maybe one of the best seasons for the top end of NFL football teams out there? Like, there's so many teams. Like 3 weeks ago, I would have said the Rams are the clear-cut favorite to win the Super Bowl, even though they're, odds are still against it technically, but they were the clear-cut. Now, they've come back to reality, and there's so many teams out there that have a legit, like, real shot at getting there, and then once you get there, who knows? But the Chargers are one of them. They're a very, very impressive team. They have no weaknesses. They do everything well, and so they're going to win this game. But it's a rivalry game, so it may stay close. From a fantasy perspective, I mean, we definitely got to go back to Cortland Sutton, I guess. I mean, he's supposed to be. He kind of let us down that first game without Demaryius and got a price hike. But if we assume he was good back then, there's no reason to assume that it's changed just a game later. So I could take some Cortland Sutton here, but I mean, it's going to be tough. This Chargers defense isn't that bad at all. And on the flip side, Melvin Gordon having a sensational year, but he's priced like it, so don't know if you want to go there. Keenan Allen, tad bit disappointing for me last week. I really needed him to do a little bit more. He managed to finally get like 5 catches for 50 yards and got the 1 touchdown, but he's better than that. I think he's better than that. I think he shows it this week. I like Keenan Allen to step up here.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon, I think it's the story. I mean, like you said, though, the price is up to $8,900. Gurley remains under $10,000 on DraftKings, even in a matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't know how the hell that's possible, but $700 more. I think I'll take Todd Gurley, obviously. But Derek, Chargers here, I'm looking at the line, and it's 7. You know, it seems a bit low. And I know it's a rivalry. Let's try this again. Rivalry game, like Chop said, but 7 seems a bit low to me at home against this Denver team.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. Anytime these lines look a little fishy, typically you want to, side with the underdog. Pretty much all the money is going to be on the Chargers this week. And I'm sure the books will have quite a stand on the Broncos. So it'll be interesting. But, yeah, that line does feel a little bit low to me as well. For the Broncos, I agree with Chop. I like Cortland Sutton to bounce back. Let everyone down a little bit against Houston, but I think it's a good spot for him. I'm not really interested in the running backs, especially if Freeman's going to be back. It sounds like he's going to practice. So that's going to be, 3 guys splitting work over there. On the Chargers, I mean, got to think Keenan Allen's going to go up against Chris Harris. That worries me a little bit. And the Chargers have just been giving Phillip Rivers the Russell Wilson treatment. He's thrown the ball less than 27 times in 5 straight games, which is interesting. So I don't love this game as a whole. I think you can go to Melvin Gordon. He gets so many opportunities in the red zone, and his touches are just so efficient, whether it's on the ground or catching the ball out of the backfield. So Gordon will be my play here, and that's about it.
Yeah, not much for me on this one either. I mean, Sutton is intriguing just to try to go back to that well, but the Chargers are such a good defense. So 4,600, not a gimme price. I think it's a decent value, but I think it's going to be a lot of Melvin Gordon for me as well, and probably not much else out of this one. Next game, Oakland and Arizona, Derek, and we finally got the big game out of David Johnson, and now goes home to face an awful Oakland Raiders defense. One of those running backs we mentioned, he's priced below some of the studs there, but the price up to 7,500. Do we go right back to the well here? Maybe a little pairing of David Johnson and the Arizona defense.
He's looked good the last 2 weeks. He's looked good. 98 rushing yards, 85 receiving yards. Granted, it was against the Niners and against the Chiefs, 2 of the easier matchups, but he gets a third one in a row against the Raiders. They're bad against the run. They can't really defend running backs to catch the ball to the backfield. So I will be going right back to this well. This will probably be – I haven't looked at the schedule, but one of the only games where the Cardinals are actually favored. They're 4-point favorites. Got to think they're going to win this game. The Raiders clearly not trying to win right now. So, yeah, I like that call. I like pairing them up with the Cardinals defense. As far as the pass catchers go, we've seen Larry Fitzgerald with 22 targets over the last 2 weeks with Byron Leftwich as offensive coordinator. We've seen Ricky Seals-Jones get going a little bit. I think he's interesting. The Oakland Raiders, one of the worst against tight ends, and Seals-Jones is only 2,900. So I think there's a lot to like on the Arizona side. For Oakland, you just can't do it. You can't trust anybody. Derek Carr is probably the worst quarterback in the NFL, at least one of the top 5 or bottom 5. And I don't trust any pass catcher. I don't really want to play Doug Martin, Jalen Richard. So it's a complete stay away from me.
I mean, he's there with Bortles. I put him in that category, bottom 5. I kid. Yeah, he's bad. I agree. I can't play any Oakland Raiders. Chop, is there anybody on that side of the ball? Their prices are cheap, but it's just, you talk about circling the drain. They're already down the drain and getting stuff piled on top of them. So all Arizona for me. I think even Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, guys I'm going to play here. But all Arizona, no Oakland. Chop, what do you think?
Yeah, I have to pass on it. Oakland here. They're just, that's just a mess over there. So pass on Oakland. Arizona, I mean, I got to imagine David Johnson's going to be popular this week. He did get the price bump, but he had to, man, because if he didn't get a price bump, he would probably be the highest owned running back out there, highest owned player maybe. So this is a premier matchup for him. So obviously he's perfectly fine. But I'll go out on a limb. I'm going to limb it out here. I think probably my favorite play from this game is Christian Kirk. I'll go out and we don't do bold calls too much anymore, but I'll bold call this guy gets multiple long touchdowns this week. I think he gets like 4 receptions, goes for 100 plus, and 2 of them are long bombs. So it's a bold call, but I like Christian Kirk. He's getting the snaps, he's getting the targets, and here we are against Oakland. So boom, all things seem to be converging for him this week, in my opinion.
Love it. He's one of my favorite value plays. Oakland has really struggled with the deep ball, 30th in the league against that, and that's his game. If Rosen lets it rip, they're going to be focused on trying to stop David Johnson. Again, Kirk in play. Larry Fitzgerald's only 5,600. So really like the spot here for Arizona. Maybe you can load up and be Cards fan like the guy that was the Bears fan and just load it up, buy Bears, the defense, and won $1 million. So maybe you could do that with the Cardinals this week, but great spot at home against Oakland. All right, Chop, last game for us here for the afternoon, Philadelphia and New Orleans. This could get ugly. I mean, we saw New Orleans go on the road, put 51 on Cincinnati. Now gets Philadelphia coming in, who loses Ronald Darby. Their secondary is beat up. They gave up about 1 million yards to Ezekiel Elliott. What is New Orleans going to do at home in this one?
Yeah, Philadelphia, man, looks like one of those classic Super Bowl teams that come back the next year and just can't get it together because they already had put themselves behind the 8 ball, and now they get a schedule down the stretch, it doesn't look good at all. It looks very difficult starting with New Orleans. So that's tough break for them. But I would say for the Philadelphia side, maybe there's something there. They're not going to go down without a fight, and they're not going to be able to run the ball against this defense. So that leaves us with Carson Wentz to Zach Ertz, Carson Wentz to maybe Aguilar, who got back in the mix. Golden Tate maybe gets a little bit more playbook under his belt, so he's effective. But any which way you cut it, I think Philadelphia puts up a major fight here and scores points, and it's going to come via the pass. So whoever you want to pair Wentz with, I think that makes for great GPP plays. And New Orleans is going to do whatever they want to do in this game, I think. It's unbelievable that 2 weeks ago the Rams looked that good, and New Orleans looked good, but we weren't thinking of them as in the same category as the Rams, I don't think. At least I wasn't. And now a couple weeks fast forward, and they look like the best team in the NFL, hands down. They do everything. They can run power. They can run finesse, deep balls, short passes, stud wide receiver, great quarterback. Like, they do everything on offense. And I think it shapes up. If people are going to look at the secondary and want to take advantage, and they're going to load up on Michael Thomas or even Traquan Smith, I'll go the other route. I'll stay at home. New Orleans blows them out, and then maybe we get a Mark Ingram game. So I'll be a little contrarian there, and I'll think Mark Ingram could have a chance for a big game here.
Yeah, and his price still remains down there. I mean, coming off a big game, 4,700, Kamara at 82. But we got Drew Brees, highest priced quarterback on the main slate. Michael Thomas, highest priced wide receiver on the slate. But I like the Philly call. New Orleans has really struggled with wide receivers. So, the Alshons of the world, does Golden Tate maybe get more involved? And Zach Ertz been about the only reliable tight end this season. So, Derek, start there. Who are your targets with Philadelphia? Obviously, you want to run it back if you're running some Saints, but do any Eagles stand out as maybe cash game plays? And then New Orleans, is it the running game, the passing game, or all the above?
I can't think of a better spot for Carson Wentz. It's indoors. They're going to be playing from behind, so he's going to be airing it out. And the Saints are a pass funnel defense. They're ranked 3rd against the run, 29th against the pass. So I do think it's going to be a good spot for Wentz. You mentioned the Saints are much better against tight ends than they are against wide receivers, but I don't mind going back to Ertz. He's clearly the top tight end target in the main slate. I've heard a lot of people talk about Nelson Aguilar early in the week. I'll let them chase those points. I would much rather go to Alshon Jeffrey. And then Golden Tate, only played 18 snaps, so keep an eye on that throughout the week. If he gets a full complement, then you might want to take a look at him as well. As far as the running backs go, I just think you avoid it for now. Keep an eye on Josh Adams. He had a 44% snap rate, which was the highest of the season. And Doug Peterson says that he wants to get him more carries moving forward. So not going to play him this week, but I'm going to keep an eye on his role. And then for the Saints, you can just pick whoever you want here. It seems like they want to get Drew Brees in the MVP conversation. He's been having a huge year. He's averaging 29 fantasy points at home. You can go to Michael Thomas if you want. He's just been so efficient with his targets that it's really hard to say no to him on any week. But I kind of agree with Chop. I think they get out to a big lead. I think both running backs are in play. You can look at Kamara, Ingram, only 4,700. That's a great price point. And if you're playing this afternoon slate, you can maybe even think about playing both the running backs here as sort of a contrarian take.
Yeah, and we've seen that work many a times last season. People utilize that. You could have utilized it last week against Cincinnati, but I'm with you guys on Carson Wentz. Probably my favorite quarterback of the week. You want to talk consistency. The guy gives you low to mid-20s each and every week. We haven't seen the big blow-up game yet, but cash games, you're getting a 3-4x return every single week out of Carson Wentz, and a lot of people will just say, I'll pay $200 more for Drew Brees. The reason I like Wentz, New Orleans could beat you in a variety of ways. You could get 5 touchdowns out of the running backs, and that may render Drew Brees not making value on that number, where Wentz, it's not going to come from the running game. It's going to come from him and his receivers, his pass catchers. It's not going to be Smallwood. I love Josh Adams. I want to see him get more run as well, but that makes Wentz, to me, the best quarterback play on this slate in this matchup with New Orleans. So a big game there, should be a fun game. But let's move on to Sunday Night Football, Derek. We got another good one here. Minnesota and Chicago, an NFC North battle here. Chicago has been so good at home. Mitchell Trubisky, all his pass catchers, the defense, we mentioned it. They won a guy $1 million last week, but a tougher matchup here than they're going to draw the Lions. They get the Vikings, who the defense maybe hasn't been as good as we expected, but it's still a better defense than the Lions. So we don't have Sunday Night Showdown pricing. But let's just analyze this game, Derek. What are your thoughts, Vikings and Bears?
So assuming he's not too expensive, I think Trubisky is going to be my captain pick. He's just been so good all year, and he gives you such a high rushing floor that I think you just keep playing him. We know that the Bears can't really run the ball. I mean, Cohen's been pretty effective, but he's a better pass catcher than runner. Jordan Howard just can't get anything going all year. So I think this is a Trubisky game. You can pair him up with any of his wideouts, but my favorite's going to be Trey Burton. Only 3,800 in the Thursday to Monday slate. Got to think he's probably going to be cheap in that showdown slate. And then for the Vikings, Dalvin Cook looked really good the week before the bye. 10 carries for 89 yards. I caught another 4 catches for 20 yards. So I think he's going to have a heavier workload. Probably going to outsnap Latavius Murray in this one. Don't mind looking at him. And as always, Thielen and Diggs going to be on my radar. Assuming Diggs is going to be able to play. Sounds like he will. So, yeah, going to be an interesting game. Probably going to be low scoring. But when it comes to those showdown slates, it doesn't really matter the score. You just try to find your edge, and you try to build a story and build your teams that way.
Yeah, coming off the bye, Diggs is saying he'll be ready to go. So, again, I think he makes for a nice price there. A little bit cheaper than Thielen. But, Chop, should be a fun game. What do you got, Vikings and Bears?
My thoughts would be that, first off, Tariq Cohen left that game last week with an ankle injury or some kind of lower leg injury. So we got to keep your eye on that. I mean, if he were to sit, then Jordan Howard may finally get all the run we thought he was going to get to start the year. So that would be interesting. But if Cohen plays, if Cohen seems healthy and all, that'd be my pick for like a captain spot, because it just feels like you're going to have to beat Minnesota an unorthodox way. I don't think Allen Robinson has another big game. So I'd say Cohen if he's healthy and if he plays. So on that, but I don't like a ton of Bears. I think Cohen and Gabriel are the only ones I really like in that game. On the flip side, I love Cousins to Thielen and Diggs coming off this bye week. I don't think they run the ball into the heart of the Chicago defense. I think they do it with their perimeter wide receivers and Thielen in the slot, and I love that combination right there. That's if I can find a way to get like those 4 guys there, Cousins, Thielen, Diggs, and then coming back with Cohen on there, even if I have to punt a spot, I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, I love Taylor Gabriel in the spot, and everybody's going to go back to the guys that got it done. Anthony Miller and Allen Robinson. And Taylor Gabriel gives you that lightning in a bottle type player that it only takes one, and he's making value. So I agree with Cohen, but I really like going back to Taylor Gabriel. Coming off that bad game, should be cheap, probably low owned, and we know those are the kind of guys that can win you these showdown slates. All right, guys, this one is going to be fun. Kansas City and the Rams on Monday night. We just got news before we started recording. The game is actually being moved from Mexico City to LA. So a home game here for the Rams, but don't read into that too much. When I'm watching the Packer-Rams game, there were more Packer fans there than there were Rams fans. LA just does not support this team, but the game is in LA, Chop. 63-point total, the highest total we've seen in a long time, longest that I ever remember seeing a total that high. And there was a study out, anytime a total's been 57.5 or higher, the over is hit every single time, 11 instances over that time frame. So you got to think there's going to be points here, but we need to find some lower end guys, some off the radar guys, and prioritize in this game. Should be fascinating. But from the showdown slate side, let's get some low-owned plays. Let's find some cheap plays here. Even though we don't have pricing, let's find some off-the-radar guys.
It's so weird or odd. I don't know what you call it. That not odd, but just like the luck of it all. That this is not a flex game from Sunday night. This is a Monday night game. So this was on the schedule, for a long time now, and that this is the Monday night. Like if this game were on the main slate, like everything would be totally flip it upside down, right? But it's a showdown slate on an island, so it's totally almost, I don't want to say meaningless, but it's a showdown slate. We're all going to have the same damn guys. So it's so interesting that on the main slate, this would have been a total changer altogether. But for showdown purposes, I mean, I just don't think you get too cute with it. You try to jam in as many of these studs as you can. The production is pretty straightforward here. I would almost rather them not have played this game and just seen these two teams meet in the Super Bowl. That would have been fun. And, to just be the Super Bowl game, and you never seen this matchup before, but we got it now. So, I mean, Gurley would be my captain guy, and I would find a way to fit him in there. Josh Reynolds could save you money. We even saw Tyler Higbee catch a touchdown last week, so Higbee is a guy that I could save money on to jam Gurley in the captain spot. On the flip side, Sammy Watkins could be back. There's a money saver. You just got to find guy. Maybe Spencer Ware gets one of them vulture touchdowns. Anything you can do to get your studs in this game, you do it. Like Gurley, number one. I would say Tyreek, number two option for me. Those are the two guys I have to have on my team. After that, maybe one of the quarterbacks, but Mahomes is going to be so expensive, though. And then whatever you got to do, even if you got to take those cheap guys, Reynolds, Higbee, Watkins, somebody like that, and hope they get a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, those are the interesting names for me. Josh Reynolds obviously stepping in for Cooper Kupp. They'll move Robert Woods to the slot. He'll get some snaps on the outside. Obviously, plenty of touchdown opportunities this game. And then it's Everett and Higbee. I wish they could combine those guys into one guy, and I think it could be a very productive position. But, Derek, they kind of eat away at each other's value here. I mean, I prefer Everett, but both guys have been productive, and either guy could steal a touchdown in this one. So, Chiefs and Rams appointment viewing. Derek, how are you breaking this one down?
Yeah, I obviously love this game, and it's a great week to play Thursday to Monday so that you can get exposure to it. I'm going to be definitely taking advantage of that. As far as the showdown slate, I think the goal for me is to get as many studs as I can into my lineup. So I think I'm going to play somebody really cheap in my captain spot, whether that's Reynolds, whether that's a kicker. I think the last time we saw the Chiefs, in one of these showdown slates, they were facing the Patriots, and then we had those two kickers, win everything, the two kicker lineups. So maybe you do that here. Just to get as many, studs as you can into your lineup. But obviously, like everyone, just going to come down to pricing and try to differentiate, whatever way you can. So I think I'm going to go cheap in my captain spot just so I can afford as many studs as I can get.
And don't forget, Jared Goff at home has been absolutely lights out. I mean, averaging almost 29 DraftKings points a game when he's at home. So this game moved to L.A., basically a home game there for the Rams. But any way you go in this one, again, should be fun. And DraftKings, if you're listening, make this baby big. Let's get like a 1.5 million. Everybody's excited about this game. People are going to play it. It'll fill. Let's make this the biggest showdown slate that we've had this season and go out with a bang here with Chiefs and Rams. But should be an awesome game. Looking forward to it. And that will wrap us up for the analysis portion. Guys, any final thoughts on the football before we answer a few questions here?
No, I'm done. That's it.
He's done. He's ready for tacos. We teased the tacos in the last one, but he can smell them now. He's waiting for them. Derek, any final thoughts? We got to get Chop off to Taco Land.
Don't let this podcast be the last thing that you listen to each week. We recorded this on Tuesday, so a lot's going to change throughout the week, both in terms of ownership and injuries and roster construction. So just be sure to keep up with all the news throughout the week, and don't be listening to this on Sunday night or Saturday night trying to build lineups.
Yeah, it's always our initial thoughts, which is good to get out there, and start formulating your plan for the week. But I agree. If you ever want to reach out to any of us with updated thoughts, we all do different articles and videos and shows on RotoGrinders. So, our thoughts can change throughout the week, but it's good to get an early look at things. And that's what we try to do here each and every week. All right, let's get to the questions, and we'll get to Derek's set of holiday questions. Should be fun there. And then we'll get Chopped those tacos he's been waiting for. But from Dean, is there a season-long target winning percentage for casual players to strive towards in NFL cash games? So, for instance, a good sports bettor is about 57%. Do you guys look at that when you're playing cash games? Is there a number? Is there a percentage you're targeting? Or is it all just ROI and things? So, Derek, I'm going to go to you here. This seems like a question for you. What do you think?
You would think I would be super into this stuff, but I'm not actually.
Oh, come on, Derek.
I mean, given the rake, you probably want a win rate of some in the high 50s, 60% or so, for you to be profitable over the long run. But for me, I mean, I play a bunch of tournaments as well, so the name of the game for me is just to be profitable over the course of the season, manage my bankroll, not get too overexposed in any one week, and kind of go from there. I don't necessarily track my results as well as I probably should.
Yeah, I hate to simplify this question, but at the end of the week, did I win money or did I lose money? That's the old school in me. That's what I'm looking at. Now, obviously, a lot of great tools where you can look at Am I successful at cash games, head-to-heads, 50-50s, tournaments? We have tools on RotoGrinders that'll help you with that. Chop, I got a feeling you fall in my category. Did we win money or did we lose money?
Oh, that's definitely what you're looking at. But I could say, honestly, we're in, what is this, week 11?
This is week 11.
I haven't played a cash game all year long in the NFL. It's strictly tournaments. I used to do the cash thing, but slowly but surely, the edge seemed like it was really like there was just everybody's knowledge. And we're part of it because we're doing a podcast about the NFL, and there's so many podcasts and webcasts and everything. So we're part of the knowledge that, has taken over the cash games to make them almost unplayable. But for me, I don't even play cash games anymore. It's too tough. People are smart, man. There's not much of an edge there. If you stumble across a guy who you play a $5 or $10 game and he has a non-starter in there or something, oh, count your blessings. But that's not the normal thing anymore. Everybody's so smart. I don't even play cash. I just sign up for tournaments and that's it.
And there's so many lineup optimizers where a guy could literally sit on at 12:45 before the game started at 1 and go to 10 different sites and it'll spit out optimal lineup. So I agree. I've been playing less and less cash games, more and more tournaments. So don't really have a set winning percentage, but I agree with Derek. Obviously, you want to be near that 60% if you're really breaking down the numbers. All right, from Eric Stifler, 3-part question. Favorite Thanksgiving food or side? Chop, we're going to go to you here.
Stifler, man. Is that the Stifler? Is that the Stifler from American Pie?
It sure is.
Favorite what? Thanksgiving food and side?
Food or side? Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right, I'll give you my answer, but then I have a question for you.
All right.
I'm basic. What am I like? I like the turkey. You got to have the turkey. The ham's not bad. I'll eat the ham too, but the turkey's good. I don't mind turkey. People give turkey a bad name. They give it a bad rap throughout the year, but I like a little turkey. Where the side, so many good sides. I like them all, but my mom makes a particular dressing, and it's a family recipe, and I don't have the recipe. She has it. I guess when she's ready to give it to me one day, she'll give it to me, but it's a family recipe. It's really good, so I like her stuffing, but I'll let you guys answer that too. And then also would like to ask you guys on top of all that, what your favorite holiday is out of all this, the whole year, calendar year, what's your favorite holiday?
All right. Well, for me, Thanksgiving food, I'm the same. My mom used to make this sweet potato casserole. So it's basically mashed up sweet potatoes. You put some cinnamon on top. You put some pecans on top. It's outstanding. So that for me, Derek, we'll get your Thanksgiving food or side here first, and then we'll talk holidays.
Yeah, pretty boring on my part. Give me turkey, give me mashed potatoes. I think the rest are a little overrated. Not really a stuffing guy. Don't really like the yams and all that. So
stuffing is delicious. Come on.
And don't put cranberry on your turkey.
Get out of here with the cranberries. Get out with the cranberry sauce. People always want to bring like, what is cranberry sauce doing here? Get that out of here. So favorite holiday for me is Christmas. I mean, just having kids and watching the pure joy on their face when they tear open the presents. Now it sucks, wrapping the presents and doing all that. The wife does most of the shopping, but just to see their faces on Christmas morning, priceless for me. So easy, Christmas. Derek, favorite holiday?
Gotta be Christmas. So fun as a kid, and then you grow up and you get to kind of experience that all over again when you have a kid. So definitely Christmas for me.
Santa Chop, it's gotta be Christmas.
It is Thanksgiving, and I'll tell you why.
Oh.
And it is not just because there's great food and there's great football, there's great sports and all that other stuff. But I've said this before. Thanksgiving, the best thing you can have, like if you don't have anything to look forward to in life, then you're pretty much done. It's probably over with for you. It's a pretty dull existence. You always need something to look forward to. So with Thanksgiving, not only do you have this holiday, but then you also have the anticipation of Christmas, which is a great holiday, and New Year's. Once you get into Christmas, then it's winding down. It's a little bit anticlimactic, and then you just got the New Year's Eve left, and that's it. And then once that's over, we got to go a whole year until Thanksgiving comes back. So Thanksgiving, that's where it's at, man.
I'm gonna dig back into the memory banks into season 1 of the OG's podcast, Chop. And weren't you the guy on Thanksgiving that's booting everybody out of his house?
Oh man, I don't have to like my house being full of people.
Everybody out, everybody out.
You're surprising me here, so
I don't have to like them over here in order to enjoy Thanksgiving, my friend. Plus, it's funny you said that because last night I was asking what do you think the kids would like for Christmas? You think they would want a flat screen TV up on their wall upstairs? And I'm thinking that in the back of my head the whole time I'm thinking, man, I hope she says yes, because then I can go bury myself upstairs during Thanksgiving and watch their flat screen instead of the crappy TV they have now. So I'm trying to give them this gift. That's really for me, though, but, we'll see how that works out.
Oh, yeah. We always get a little poker game going on Thanksgiving, put the TV on, watch some football. But I'm with you. There's a certain point, like, okay, I'm getting tired here. I want to lay down, watch the late game, fall asleep, and everybody out of my damn house. So, all right, the next part of that question, and Chop, specifically for you, have you decorated the house for Christmas yet? The people want to know.
No, what is this? What are these shenanigans thinking about decorating before Thanksgiving's over with? The day after Thanksgiving, you start to prepare for your decorations, not before.
So Chop's a Black Friday decorator. So clear
I'm certainly not a shopper, man. That's for sure.
Clear lights or color lights is the third part of this question.
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, I don't like the really weird, crazy color stuff, but I like a little color in there if it's done properly.
Yeah, I mix it up. Mostly the white icicle type lights, but a little bit of color is good. And when you get too many damn colors going on, it just looks like a paint by numbers that my kindergartner put together. So you gotta have a plan when you're putting up the Christmas lights. We talked about this. Plan it out, do it right. So, but don't do it before Thanksgiving. That I agree with. All right, guys, final question here, and then we'll get into Derek's questions. Process towards building your cash games. Now, Chop, I know you said you don't play cash games. Derek, I think you do still. I do. But any particular process you follow, some basic tips? I know this is a very kind of 10,000-foot level question that's not easy to answer, but just maybe a few things that you're looking at as far as cash game lineups go, Derek.
Yeah, so I'll typically start at running back and or wide receiver, pick out my favorite values, especially at running back. If there's going to be a guy that I really like that's going to get 20-plus touches, he's going to be, an auto lock for me in cash games when it comes to running back. And then from there, I just kind of fill out from there. I start with running backs and receivers and then kind of save my tight end, defense, and quarterback for last and sort of just mix and match, different guys. I definitely want to check ownership projections. Not that I don't mind playing a guy that's going to be 5% owned in cash games, but I'll definitely want to rethink my process if I go through and see, my quarterback's going to be 1% owned. Maybe there's a reason for that. So I think ownership projections are good just to look at to kind of gauge where you are against the rest of the industry.
Yeah, for me, in all sports, basically I'm trying to identify what value is out there. Finding the value. Do I feel good about the value? And that's going to let me know how many studs I can go after. But for football, I agree. It's really starting with the running backs. Do you want to pay up, get all those studs in your lineup? Is there value guys that you can go with? But looking at the consistency as well. We talked about Carson Wentz. That's what makes him one of my favorites this week. Consistent, week in, week out. You're getting a floor plus a guy that can give you a nice ceiling, which means that the high end of what we expect of the fantasy points. So finding that value, though, I think is very, very important. Chop, I know you've played cash games, so just answer this question quick. Process in building them, football, other sports. What are the main things you're looking at?
Well, I'll say this much. When I used to play a lot of cash games, when I had my most success, it was because I could find, you mentioned value, Notorious mentioned a similar term, and all that is inefficiency in the market, right? It's just an inefficient pricing. When I could find that is when I did my best. And a lot of times that comes with an injury or seeing something out there that's going to happen. But the problem now for me is that the pricing is so accurate with these sites now that I can't find those inefficiencies. So that's why I kind of bailed on it. Otherwise it's just not even a coin flip. I'm probably at a disadvantage with most people now playing a cash game. So I'm not even at a coin flip. So I just play. But I guess the first thing I would look for is the inefficiency. Who is drastically underpriced due to injury, new role in the system, whatever it may be. Find the underpriced guys, and those are the guys you stick in first.
Right, and a lot of times it's between the two sites. You may notice a guy way cheaper on one site, and this is in all sports. You got to really, if you play on both FanDuel, DraftKings, or even some of the other sites, just looking around and kind of pricing guys out. Your lineup should not look the same on FanDuel than it does on DraftKings. It's two different builds, two different scoring systems, and two different sets of pricing. So just looking between the two sites, I think, can be very valuable as well. All right, Derek, I'm turning it over to you, buddy. You said you got some questions for us. You've been working hard at this, so let's hear them. What do we got?
All right, so this is meant to sort of get into your lives as far as how you treat the holidays. So I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to set the over under, and then you can give me your answer.
All right.
First question, it's going to be a Thanksgiving question. So the number of times that you were going to check your phone for DFS while you're at your Thanksgiving event, and so this could be setting lineups, checking scores, whatever it may be. I'm going to set the over-under at 5. Chop, we'll start with you.
No, you can't. That's a very inefficient line, Derek. Because I'm going over by the first quarter of the first game. It's over.
Smash the over, huh?
I like the line. I'm a guy that doesn't do all. I like to just set it and see how I do at the end of the day. The more I sweat games and look at things, I swear my scores don't change. Looking at the same number, everybody's passing me by. Nothing's happening. My guys aren't scoring. If I just leave it alone, look at it later, I'm fine. And I got the games on right in front of me, so I don't need to check anything. I'm going under.
You see, on a regular, football day, I would smash the over too, Chop. But, on Thanksgiving, the game's going to be on, so I can watch every play. So that's probably
let me defend myself because I'm the exact opposite. On a regular night like tonight, I won't even check it because, I just for what Beard just said, it's going to change so much. I don't care, I'll check it at the end. But on that particular day, I have nothing. I mean, I got these people walking around me, I don't want to talk to people. So I just get the phone. I start looking at it. I see what's going on. I got to keep myself busy, man. It's pretty much the only day I'll smash the over on that.
These people, I love it.
I know. I hope my family's not listening to this.
They listen. They're not one of the 7 people. Don't worry. All right, Derek. What else you got?
All right, next one. I guess I'm guessing, or I'm gonna know the answer to this one. But counting Thanksgiving and Christmas, the number of days that you were gonna play DFS, over under 1.5.
I'm all in on them holidays.
Can you repeat that question? You kind of lost me.
Okay. On Thanksgiving and Christmas, so 2 total days, the number of days that you're going to be playing DFS.
No, this isn't a serious question, right?
All right.
Yeah, over? I'm going way out.
Smashing that over. We are hammering that over. I mean, there's not a better day to play football, like one day than Thanksgiving. And Christmas NBA is awesome. They put the best
I'm smashing about 10 slates during those two. I'm smashing 10 slates during those 2 days, man.
Yeah, I may have to adjust my lines here.
Yeah, this is an efficient market here.
I think you made these lines for some wives here, not the actual players, man.
Okay, next question. The number of Christmas movies that you were going to watch from start to finish. I'll put it at 5.
Oh man,
5 Christmas movies. Well, I got my kids.
From start to finish.
They'll drag me into a few Christmas movies. I always watch a little Home Alone when that's on. I can't turn away when it's on. A Christmas Story. I'll probably be slightly over on the Christmas movies. I'll go over.
Chop.
Now, what's my time frame from Thanksgiving to New Year's, or what's my time frame here?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I'm going under, man. I mean, from start to finish, nah, I'm going way under.
See, so that's a good line. All right.
Yeah.
For me, that's over. My wife constantly through December. Okay, glasses of eggnog. This could be spiked or unspiked. I'll set it at 5.
0. Eggnog is nasty. Just 0. Under. Chop.
I mean, I'm gonna say under because my wife won't allow it in the house. But if it was allowed, I would smash the egg. I can't be trusted around something like eggnog. I'll go crazy. Cheesecake, eggnog, any of this stuff. I don't have any self-control, so I would have gone over, but she won't even let it in the house.
I mean, cheesecake, yeah, eggnog is just gross. No.
Oh man, I like.
Eric, where do you come out on this?
Under. I don't hate it, but it's not something that I drink every year. Okay, next question. I'm giving you guys way too much credit with this line. The number of presents that you purchase, not your wife, that you purchase for other people, and I'll set it at 3.
Oh boy, I hate to say it, dude, but I'm the under. I mean, me and the wife get each other a thing or two, but the kids, she does all of it. I mean, I'll come home and there'll be 19 Amazon boxes piled every which way on my porch. So credit to her. She gets it done. Unfortunately, I'm under, dude.
So,
under.
Yeah, make it 3 for 3. I buy presents for my wife, and she does the rest. So, shout out to the wives, I guess. Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
2 more.
They like it. Don't let them fool
They
you.
do.
That's true. All right, 2 more. Number of ugly Christmas sweaters worn in December. I'll set the line at 0.5.
I'm trying to get into. I'm not a sweater guy, but there are some great ugly Christmas sweaters. I see ads and I'm like, yeah, I should get one. So I'm gonna go over. I'm usually not a sweater guy. I usually don't do that, but I'm gonna find me a nice ugly Christmas sweater. So I'll go the over slightly. 1 over.
All right, Chop.
Well, that's a very ironic question because I'm not a sweater guy either. I don't ever wear them, and I wasn't planning on wearing one this year. But my wife came up with this suggestion that on Christmas Eve, when we do our thing with my in-laws, her mom and folks,
You mean these
she
people?
yeah, pretty much. No, come on. These people are like the people that I see maybe once or twice a year, just on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
The rando uncle that's hammered all your beers and that guy.
Yeah. The in-laws, they're good. The in-laws, the close ones are good. But so she came up with this recommendation this year. Let's on Christmas Eve, let's do ugly Christmas sweater. And I'm like, what? This is like the first time you've ever even said that. So this year I will be going over because I'm currently on Amazon looking for ugly Christmas sweaters for that particular occasion. And I've seen some rowdy ones that I can't take, but I'm going to get me one.
Derek, I know you're way over. I can see your wife just hammering sweaters and hand them to you and wear this one. You're definitely over.
My wife has quite a few ugly Christmas sweaters with some cats on them, all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, for me, it seems like one of my friends every other year will host an ugly Christmas sweater party. That's pretty much the only time that I'm going to be wearing one of those. Okay, last one. This isn't related to the holidays, but wanted to get your thoughts. This is going to be the number of females that have listened to our podcast start to finish for at least 5 of the weeks this season. And I'll set the line at 10.
Woo.
That's generous as heck, man.
Ladies, are you out there? Ladies, I mean, I would love to think, yes, they're listening, but I got to go under on that one. I hope I'm wrong. And ladies, if we're wrong, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter, @BeerMakersFan, @HeadChopper, @RG_Notorious. Let us know you're out there, but I got to go under.
Yeah, it's got to be under. It's got to be under, man. I can't from beginning to end. I just can't. There's maybe a few chicks out there in DFS that would find this kind of interesting, but for the most part, yeah, I just can't see it, man. I don't think our fan base spreads that wide.
Maybe we're underestimating things. So again, let us know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't. You know what? I don't know, man. I don't even have the numbers. I don't even know how many people listen to this thing. Period. So maybe I'm way off.
6. So we can't go over it. I don't have the numbers either. We just record and put it out there. Hope you guys enjoy it. But I hope there's some ladies listening.
We basically what we do here is we come in, we do this, we record it, we put out a good product, and we sit back while Cal Spears counts his money. That's what we do.
Cheers, Cal. Cheers, buddy.
Merry Christmas.
I know Cal loves that eggnog.
Thanks for the coffee mug.
I know Cal. I'm giving him the over.
You got a coffee mug?
One year I got a coffee mug.
I didn't get a coffee mug. Oh, Derek, what's your answer on the ladies? Over or under?
Yeah, it's got to be under. But hey, Nicole Valencia, maybe she listens to it. That's
maybe your wife is sneaking off listening to it, right?
She likes to ask the questions, but then she doesn't listen.
So she doesn't even go from beginning to end.
My wife don't give a damn. I know she.
Oh hell no.
And a Chop, I met your wife, and she ain't listening either. I know that. So we'll see. Maybe we can get a count out there. But Derek, good questions there, buddy. We appreciate it, and thank you to everybody else for your questions and for tuning in once again here to the DFS OGs podcast. We love doing this show, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Week 11. Guys, any final thoughts here? Football, holidays, movies, whatever you want to talk about. Chop, wrap us up.
I'll wait till next week when we're before Thanksgiving to get into the good holiday stuff. But I'll just leave you guys with the parting knowledge that I'm currently 1-9 in my season long, and I am now tanking for Todd 2019.
1-9, Chop. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, we got to get you a bumper sticker there. Stick that baby on the car. Tanking for Todd. Derek, final thoughts here. Week 11.
The over-under game was my one contribution to the pod this season, so I'm just going to be coasting the rest of the way.
All right, there you go. We appreciate it. Good questions. But again, thanks for tuning in, everybody, for the great head shopper, the great Notorious. I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck here in Week 11. We'll see you right back here for Week 12. Good luck, guys and ladies.